Bienvenidos! Today we're making chocolate mini cupcakes with a ganache frosting. What we will need is 2 ounces or a 1/4 cup of semi-sweet bittersweet chocolate, a 1/4 cup of light brown sugar. What we need is 2 ounces of bittersweet semi-sweet chocolate, a 1/4 cup of light brown sugar, a 1/4 cup of Dutch cocoa powder, and a 1/4 cup of hot brewed coffee, which will help us melt the chocolate. We're going to whisk this together until it's nice and smooth. And the chips will dissolve. If you find that the chips do not dissolve, I put it in the microwave for a 15-second interval to stir. But the coffee was hot. It was almost 200 degrees, but I don't see the chips melting. So I'm going to put it in the microwave for a few seconds. Since I see that the chocolate did not dissolve with the coffee, I'm just going to put it in the microwave for a few seconds. In a separate bowl, we're going to mix granulated sugar, a 1/2 cup, with a 1/2 cup of flour, some baking soda, so 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, 1/2 cup of flour, and a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. We're going to whisk in a separate bowl. A 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, and 1/2 cup of flour. We'll whisk in here. We have to microwave a little bit the chocolate because it did not dissolve with the 1/4 cup of coffee. Okay, now that it's nice and smooth, see, it needs to be nice and smooth, no chocolate chip pieces. So, 2 ounces of semi-sweet bittersweet chocolate, a 1/4 cup of brewed coffee, a 1/4 cup of light brown sugar. We whisked it until the chocolate is smooth. Let it cool for a second, which won't take too long. And here we have a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, 1/2 cup of flour, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. And here we're going to mix 1 egg with 1 egg yolk. Save the whites for your pancake batter later. I never throw out anything. And it asks for a 1/4 cup of buttermilk. Here in my kitchen, as you're well aware, in cocinarista cook, we use, instead of buttermilk, we use low-fat yogurt. Or yogurt, doesn't have to be low-fat, but I use low-fat. Save the egg white for, we're going to save the egg white for another occasion, like making a pancake batter, which is also on cocinarista cook. Okay, so an egg and an egg yolk meet with a 1/4 cup of buttermilk. And what happens? They mix. Oil meets up with them as well. So we're going to whisk the egg yolk, buttermilk, or as we use here, low-fat yogurt. This is a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. Instead of putting a teaspoon of vanilla with your chocolate, I sometimes put in a flavored liqueur, an almond liqueur, hazelnut. It just brings out such a nice taste in the chocolate. But if you don't have any liqueur, use a teaspoon of vanilla extract and whisk it in here. So now the egg mixture will go into our chocolate mixture that has cooled down. You don't want to add the egg mixture to warmed chocolate, or it'll curdle up. That should be fine. If you want to temper anything that includes eggs, you just add it slowly to the edge of the glass, which is usually cooler than the center. So it's tempering the egg mixture. You're just bringing down the hot mixture to the temperature of room. There we go. Preheat your oven to 325. And here we have the chocolate mixture mixed in with our egg mixture. And now we'll whisk in the flour, sugar, baking soda, and salt. While these are baking, we will make the ganache. The ganache requires 2 tablespoons of butter, a cup of cream, 2 tablespoons of butter, a cup of cream, 2 tablespoons of corn syrup, and 8 ounces of the semi-sweet chocolate. This batter is nice and thick, a little bit, almost like a brownie, but a little bit less than that. So, now that our batter is ready, scrape down your sides. Make sure everything's well blended. Don't overmix. Never overmix a baking batter because it'll make it tough. That includes your pastry or any type of pastry. You always want to mix any baked product so that it's well blended, that everything is incorporated. But don't overmix. Don't make it tough. A little scooper is approximately a tablespoon. So we're going to put a scoop in each of the cup holders and repeat it twice. Our oven is at 325. We did double scoops, so at least 2 tablespoons. It could be a little bit more because you want to finish off your batter. We're going to bake for approximately 15 minutes or a toothpick comes out clean. And while we're doing this, we're going to make some chocolate ganache. The chocolate ganache is 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of light corn syrup, and a cup of heavy cream. Once it gets, you're going to simmer it for a few minutes until the cream is nice and hot, and then you're going to add your chocolate. Put some oil in your measuring device to get corn syrup out, or we're going to be here for a long time. Comes out a little bit faster. 2 tablespoons of corn syrup, 2 tablespoons of butter. Here we go. Light corn syrup. All that dark corn syrup is light corn syrup with some coloring. And 1 cup of heavy cream. We're going to bring this to a simmer. Once it's nice and hot and simmering, we're going to add 8 ounces of chocolate, and then we're going to put the melted chocolate in a bowl that's inside of another bowl of ice water, and for approximately 15 minutes keep on stirring it until the ganache is thick enough to frost or decorate our mini cupcakes. So we'll bring this to a simmer and see you in a few seconds. So we brought it to a nice simmer. We're going to add our 8 ounces of chocolate. We're going to put the chocolate back in here because this bowl is going to rest in a bowl of ice water, which we have prepared over here. You can shut this off. And you're going to mix it. You're going to mix this until it's nice and smooth. It's like making the best chocolate milk. A little bit too thick, almost like pudding. Whisk this until it's nice and smooth. Make sure your stove top is off. You can see it's nice and smooth now. Now that this has melted and it's nice and smooth, we'll put it into our glass dish. We're going to check our cupcakes in a second. They smell pretty much done. Insert it in the center. And they look pretty much done. Yep. A few minutes we're going to stir this. It'll get thick very quickly. In approximately 15 minutes our ganache will get thickened. Just stir it. Because if you don't stir it, what's going to happen is the chocolate that's on the side will get hard, but in the center will still be warm, and you don't want that. You want a nice smooth consistency, because later on this will be on top of our cupcakes. This has been sitting for approximately 15 minutes. It is much thicker, as you can see. The chocolate is holding a peak. Yeah. So let's mix. And on the side, the chocolate's a little bit stiffer because that's the side exposed to the ice. It sits there for a few more seconds. We'll get a bag, our pastry decorator ready. Great gadget for decorating, much faster than a bag. And you can always scoop out the extra. There we go. Aren't they cute? Cleaned up kitchen makes life a lot easier when it comes to cleanup later on when you're all done. Yeah, this is nice and use a cake spreader spatula, and it's nice and thin and it can get in there. You always have to have some gap. So we're going to decorate each one. Isn't that pretty? Fancy? And there you have it. A cute little mini cupcake chocolate with a ganache frosting. Not too sweet, just right. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. There are more tutorials in Cocinarista Cook channel of many things, from pastries to appetizers to entrees. Enjoy! Buon provecho!